Now, let's get to our top story for you. We have more on that. Shocking letter convicted killer Sarah Boone hand wrote to the Honorable Michael Kraynick. She blatantly disrespects him, writing in part, quote, "I was hoping to have been graced with your forgiveness, understanding, and consideration in any level or degree. For me, unfortunately, and regardless of when I spoke on my behalf or the number of, your ignorant mind was already made up." She goes on to say, "By your clear error and full-blown unfair bias against me, since your involvement in my crucible case as a whole, I've been unsuccessful in receiving anything from you as a supposed fair and neutral judge, except for your wish that I spend the rest of my life in prison. Please know and always remember, Mr. Kraynick, I forgive you." Boone ends the letter by writing, quote, "I am not a murderer, I am a survivor." Now, I said 28 pages. There was a lot in there, and we have a very special guest joining us to unpack it and react to this horrific note. Retired Judge Larry Seidlin on the show. Judge, good morning. Wonderful to have you back on Opening Statements. May I start with your
Good morning,
thoughts?
Julie. I'm retired as a judge, but I'm working hard.
We know you are. We know you are. And I know many of...
I'm working hard as a lawyer. I represent a lot of... Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Judge. And, you know, we have a little bit of a delay, so I want to tell everybody if it sounds a little bit off. That's why, just the technology. And so many people remember you presiding over the Anna Nicole Simpson case, so you rose to fame, and you've been beloved by so many across the country ever since. Could we talk a little bit about Ms. Sarah Boone in Florida? What are your thoughts on this letter and how she blames and disrespects the judge?
Well, she writes this 28-page letter. You remember Shakespeare's Hamlet with Ophelia giving all these soliloquies. This woman is a full-fledged nut. The judge is not going to read the whole 28 pages because as a judge, you don't want to absorb the mental pain of these people. You don't want to wear yourself out. You don't want to get tired. So you read a few pages and then you turn to the sports section or the news. You don't want to. It's the ramblings of a nut, the musings of a mentally ill person. So there's no way I'm reading those 28 pages unless it's a love letter from my daughter Dax. I'm not reading.
Oh, that's awesome, Judge. And I have another portion.
I know the way it really is.
Yeah. I've got another portion here. She says in the letter to his honor, "I'm no longer in your corrupt court." She calls it a corrupt court, "and free from your malevolent judicial grip." This judge was so professional, so kind, and we know Sarah Boone is difficult. I'm sure you have many difficult people who've been before you, Judge, throughout the years. What do you think, if anything, this judge should do in response to this?
Well, she went through 8 lawyers, and as a litigant, if you're a party in a lawsuit, civil, criminal, it shows instability when you go through more than 1 or 2. And I tell my clients that 1 or 2, if you're going through more than that, it shows you got some mental problems. I still find it difficult that a person can write an ex-parte letter to the judge without it first being looked at by the prosecutor. It should be also looked at the prosecutor, and the prosecutor and that party should then set it as a hearing in front of the court. The court can have a hearing or just deny the letter. The smartest thing to do for the judge is to go radio silent, to do nothing. You don't want to give her any credence, any credibility. So you just don't do anything. It's part of her DNA. When you read these letters by her, and when I heard her give a speech in the courtroom, she just pulls words out of the dictionary. She's a one-worder. and she looks for pretty fancy words in the dictionary, and she strings them together. If you put a light bulb in her mouth, it would light up. She's completely off the wall.
Judge, I think she ought to look up the word narcissist in the dictionary. Perhaps she'd find a definition that sounds familiar for herself. Then again, most of them never see themselves as what they are. Judge, this is sage advice that you're giving Judge Michael Kraynick in this case, to just do nothing, sit back. You referenced that awful speech Sarah Boone gave. We have a clip. Let's play it now.
I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, for drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose, for making me experience what it is to be sodomized, threatening to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive and in one piece.
Judge Seidlin, what did you think of that speech she gave at sentencing? Have you ever heard anything like that throughout your career, either as a lawyer or judge?
I was a bad boy. As a judge, I wouldn't let them just go like they're in London, in Hyde Park, giving these rambling speeches. I would have cut it short. I would have been a little bit more rude. I'm not letting a meatball take over my courtroom. There's no way I'm going to give her that kind of audience. And she had an opportunity to leave her boyfriend, and many opportunities. And I know she was also abused by this guy. But you get on a Greyhound bus and you go to a different town. You go somewhere else. There comes a point where you have to have the strength, the courage to make a move, and not stick him in a suitcase where he suffocates. I mean, it's bizarre. And unfortunately, I think the pandemic took a lot of these mentally weak individuals and even sent them further into the abyss. We're surrounded by a lot of mental weak people. So, like the play One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you can't allow the weak to destroy the strong. So the main character in that play, he says, "Why am I here?" And the response was, "You're here because of people like us." You can't allow the weak to destroy the strong. You got to stay strong. You got to exercise, eat good, and try to be mentally and physically healthy. It's a battle every day, and we all suffer through it, but we got to keep doing it. I mean, I got clients that are off the deep end sometimes. They can always call me. I try to bring them back into the rails.
Sure, sure. No, I know you do. I know you are a tremendous lawyer and judge. Everybody fell in love with you, as I said, when you presided over Anna Nicole Smith's case. And we're so delighted to have you now on Court TV. Please come back. Judge Larry Seidlin, thank you for everything this morning. We'll see you soon.